Okay, so I'm really dumb and was trying to originally make this video on my PS4, doing a live broadcast. That way I can actually have people comment and watch live as I do this, but I decided that was really stupid when I can just record it directly on my iPhone, recording it directly on YouTube itself through my YouTube account. But I'm making this video because I have a very old PS3 controller that I actually had custom built and fully modded, which I'll show you real quick. There she is here. This is the old PS3 controller, custom modded. I believe this is the Zombie Babe green chrome paint job slash design they put on there. It was fully modded. As you can see, it's just a standard PS3 controller. It does have the mod button down here, which, if you can hear, it's just a little clicky button. You tap that along with certain buttons on the controller to activate certain mods. The lights do light up different colors. Battery's dead, otherwise I would show you all that fancy jazz. But I actually just took this apart last night. As you can see, I have the traditional square, triangle, circle, and X buttons. Those actually came off my PS4 controller. As you can see, my PS4 controller now has the 9mm Ruger shell casings as the other buttons. Literally just did that last night. Didn't make a video on it, but today I'm actually going to be replacing these analogs, which these are just little snap-on ones that I've had on there prior to. Those just snap right off. They're just little clicky ones you get at GameStop for like $10 or whatever. I'm actually going to be replacing these. I actually bought these little guys on Amazon just yesterday. Went ahead and had them one day shipped directly to me. These are the magnetic. I believe they come on the Elite PS4 controller, I think. Not 100% sure. But they are the magnetic PS4/Xbox analogs. And you have multiple different ones that you can interchange. Inverted, exverted, different heights. And they're literally just all magnetic, so you can literally take them and slide them on there, and they just work just like that. Fully magnetic. Super cool, super awesome. I think I paid, I don't know, like between 10 and 20 bucks for these, I believe. I'm not sure. I'd have to look on my phone. But basically, yeah, I'm just going to disassemble this PS4 controller here, show you guys how that comes apart. It's very simple. And then I'm going to install these bad boys. First time changing out the analogs, so I might fuck something up, but I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see how it goes. So excuse the video quality, of course. Like I said before, this is on my iPhone. And hopefully I'll be able to get everything on video. I don't know how I'm going to set this up at all. Let's do it this way here. Alright, so that light might be kind of annoying. This angle's probably absolute shit, but this is how we're gonna have to do it, because I do not have a really flashy, expensive camera like most people that do live streams have, nor do I have a very flashy and expensive microphone. So I'm doing this with the resources that I got. As some people would say, this is called improvising at its finest. So this is the screwdriver. Well, these two both are the screwdrivers that come with the actual analog kit. I'm gonna go ahead and dim this light real quick. When you get the analogs, these two little screwdrivers come with it. One is a star key screwdriver. The other is a standard just Phillips head screwdriver. I probably won't be using the Phillips head because I actually have my own flathead and Phillips head screwdrivers that I actually prefer quite a lot more. But yeah, let's move all this stuff out of the way and get this rolling. So move those off camera so those aren't getting annoying. Alright, so PS4 controller, gonna rip her apart. I'm pretty much gonna go by this step by step and kind of show you guys how I did it the first time. Let me just go ahead and turn off my PS4 here so I'm not fucking shit up with that. Literally, I've never pulled apart a controller in my life. Just kind of used a little bit of common sense. There's 4 screws on the back. Undid those screws, everything just kind of popped apart. I did go into an in-depth video with a PS4 controller breakdown, so I did know what pieces are what and how to remove the touchpad and the light bar sensors inside the controller, which is super simple. Probably gonna need my needle nose pliers for that part again, so literally all you'll need: needle nose pliers, Phillips head, flat head, and probably a small star key screwdriver for this part. So we're just gonna pull these screws out of the back here. Make sure you set all those on the side and get a little tray to put those in so I don't lose them. Put all my little screws and stuff in this little tray here so I don't lose anything, because my desk is black and these screws tend to get lost even just sitting on top of my desk. There's 2. There's 3. And there's 4. That's literally all you need to do to get started and pulled apart. Now, it is kind of a pain in the ass to actually physically pull the shell apart, because it does have a couple little connectors under here and on the sides, over here as well. They just kind of like click into place, so you are going to have to give it a little bit of force. Do try not to give it too much force, because you could possibly rip the strips that are connected to your light bar and your touchpad. So just try to be a little gentle, but you're still going to need some force. The only thing to be cautious with is your triggers. You want to try to keep your triggers together, whether they stay on the back shell or the front shell. Either or, doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that you keep both the triggers on one of the 2 shells, because there is a small spring that will launch out of the trigger area, and if that screw launches out, it's going to be very, very hard, and it's going to take a lot of time to locate it, if you can even locate it in the first place. So I'm just going to go ahead and snap this apart. Found that going at the inside of the grips is the easiest place to get it started. And then literally once you do that, you just kind of pry it open a little bit. It's probably a really shitty angle and a shitty video, but this is what I got to work with, so this is what we're going to do it with. I don't ever try to put anything in between anything to like pry it open and hold it open like a wedge. I've always seemed to break things doing that, so that I will not do. So you're going to hear it kind of pop and snap. Don't worry, you're not breaking anything. That's literally just the shell coming apart in the areas that it is held together by. This side. It's really not that difficult to get apart. I'm just actually trying to be really careful, because I do not want to break anything. This is actually my only PS4 controller, so I want to try my best to keep it that way. There we go. Alright, so whole controller is basically apart, as you can probably see. Basically fully apart. The next part that is kind of difficult is going to be, let me move the camera quick so you can see, actually getting the triggers to stay assembled. So as you see right about here, this little plastic piece is actually connected to your back shell. If you actually push the triggers in and pull up at a slight angle, pulling the back of the grip up and forward, you can actually keep these triggers all together and assembled on the front shell, which I'm going to do really quick and pull those off to kind of keep that together. So you just basically push in your triggers, pull up at a little bit of an angle, and voila, your triggers are still all assembled. Be careful not to pull too hard. This is your light bar, and it is attached here. This one is actually easy to access yourself, which let me adjust the camera so you can actually see it real quick. So everything that I can see right now, this is basically how it is. You have your triggers here and your triggers here. This is actually your battery. Your DualShock vibrating functions are there. And then this is attached to your light bar. So when you actually get it apart, make sure you don't pull the whole thing apart, because you could possibly damage this or the input that it's in. It's just basically like a really small card that slips right in there. Let me go ahead and just grab that. So this one's really easy to access. Literally, you just grab the little blue tab and pull up with a little bit of force, and that literally just slips right out of that slot there. Let me grab this in so you can see it. And this is literally all that's in there. And that's basically how your light bar turns on and off. After you pull that off, you literally can just take your rear shell. You don't really need that for anything as of right now, so you can just go ahead and set that off to the side. And this is what you have left. Most people disconnect the battery. The first time I did not. I just left the battery intact on there. Probably gonna pull it off this time just so I don't accidentally turn on the PS4 with a half disassembled controller. So it's just going to be this little plug right here. You just go ahead and pull that plug off there. And then I'm going to pull the battery off. There is, under the battery, there is one screw, which is right there, if you can see it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the battery out. I'm going to undo that screw, and then I'm going to pretty much remove the guts to the controller, pull those out, and then we will start disassembling the analog grips and placing those with these fancy little magnetic ones. So I'm going to change the camera back so you guys can actually see me doing this. You won't see it in detail unless I get to a part that I probably should show you in detail. So let me go ahead and just switch this. Alright. The crazy Asian tech kid. So I'm gonna use my little flathead real quick to kind of wedge this out so I don't break anything crazy. Alright, just wiggle her out of there. That is your PS4 battery. Set that aside, don't need that. And then put that over there. And take out this small screw here. And then this is the only screw that is actually holding down your board or your controller. It is a silver screw, so it is color coded. The 4 exterior screws are all black. The one internal is silver. It's very easy to tell the ones apart once you get to that part there. And actually, I almost forgot. Before we do anything else, you will have to disconnect your touchpad from the board here, which I'm going to switch the camera and get a little detailed view of that so you can actually see what I'm talking about. It's basically just like the light bar disassembly when you had to pull that small little tab out of the little holder there. Let me switch this real quick for you. So, same process for the touchpad. Obviously this here is your touchpad. We are face down on my desk here. This little red tab, or orange, whichever you want to call it, whatever suits your fancy, is actually connected directly under this little plastic battery holder, I guess you can call it. It is directly under there. You can take the battery sled off, but I would prefer not to tamper with it, in my personal opinion, just because it is clamped to both sides here, and I don't want to accidentally scratch the board or mess anything up, because I don't have the tools and or the knowledge to fix that, and don't feel like spending another $60 on a new controller. So again, needle nose pliers. You just grab this little red or orange tab, pulls it straight out, and you're pretty much good to go. I'm going to try to hold the camera and do this all at the same time, so you guys can at least see it, so you know how it kind of works. So give me a second here. Alright, so you just grab this little red tab here, and you give it a little pull, boom, and there you are. Red tab is out, touchpad is disconnected, and that's pretty much that. There are no clamps on the side where these vibrating little motors are at. On the PS3 controller, there are two little notches, one here, on both sides that hold this bottom tray in. PS4 controller actually doesn't have that anymore, so you don't need either one of those. So you can literally just grab it and lift it all up, and everything pretty much comes out, if it'll agree with me here. Come on. So there we go. That is your board. Those are your traditional analogs there. There's everything else down there. You won't need to mess with anything else down there at all. You literally just want to be very careful with these two wires here, the black and red, same on the other side. You don't want to pull too hard because they are still attached to the back of the board. So if you get to tugging a little too much, or any jerky motions, could possibly disconnect those. Wouldn't be a hard fix. It's just a little bit of solder on the back of the board, which I have done before. I'd be able to fix that. It wouldn't be a big issue, but I just prefer not to do any extra work. So let me go ahead and take a look at these, see how these come off. This is actually my first time pulling these analogs off of pretty much any controller. So let me change the camera so you guys can take a look what I'm doing, and I'll try to get these off without breaking anything, I hope. Cross my fingers. Alright, so here we are. Get her angled in about the right area. So looking at the bottom of this, it literally looks like they just slide right in place. What it looks like. So let me just give her a slight little pull and see what happens. I don't want to pull too hard because I don't want to yank these wires and or pull anything off of this board, which that would suck. Alright, so yeah, they're literally just pressure fitted right in there. Literally just came right off. I don't know if you can see it. There's not really much light. Let me pull the camera over here so you can get a better look. Alright, so literally there's just a little groove inside there. This is your analog. Man, that's really dirty. It's kind of gross. My bad, people. I have dirty analogs. All dusty and gross. Anyways, they're literally just pressure fitted right onto that little whatever you want to call it, little knob. This is your actual analog. Moves around like so. So super simple. Go ahead and pull this other one off, slide the other two on here, and start reassembling it, and we'll kind of go back through that process again. Give me 1 second. Alright. Oop. No one wants to see my ugly Asian ass, so I'm going to go ahead and focus on the controller and not myself. I know you guys didn't click on this video to see some ugly Asian guy and see his ugly face, so I'll try to save you the tears and the going blind from seeing my ugly ass. Both those are removed. I know this light's probably a bit bright, and especially from over there. Let me see if I can't dim her down a little bit. Alright, so as you can see, both analogs are off. They are sitting off over here in La La Land. These two probably just sit in the shelf in case I need to get rid of the controller by any means. I'll probably just pull it back apart, take my my new ones off and keep those. Stick those off over there. And for right now, I'm not going to put any analog knobs on there. I'm just going to put just the base in there and get that set. Get both those in real quick. Alright, so let's see. One side does have a little groove. So by looking at that, that would slide in like so. Alright, that one is in and on. Pull that little knob on there. Get this one. And that one does have a groove on that side as well. So let's go ahead and slide him right on there. Alright, both of those are on. They are looking good, as you can see. Look fairly nice. Let me get you a little close up so you can see this a little bit better. They look pretty sweet. Really just metal. The other ones are plastic. I feel like these will hold up a little bit better than the plastic, although I've never actually broken an analog, so I'm not sure if that's even possible. That's pretty much it. Now we're going to start to reassemble everything and go from there. Sorry if you keep hearing a little tink or ding every time I change the camera angle. I'm actually using a large jar from work to hold up my camera. Alright, so once those are in, literally the board just pops back in place. For the board, let me kind of point this out so you guys can see as well. So on the board itself, you have, let me position this so I can see it myself. There's a little hole here. There's a hole there. There is also another hole here, as you can see. There's two little white posts that are part of the outside shell of your controller. And those actually will sit right in these holes, and if I lift it up, I don't know if it'll flop right in that place there. And as you can see, they actually just pop right up. So your board will sit on those two pins. That's where your rear shell will meet, and that's where these screws will actually sit in to hold it in place, along with the other ones as well, obviously. So that'll just sit there, and I'm going to start connecting everything back together. So first things first, I need to reconnect my touchpad to the actual board itself. So I need to actually turn my light up a little bit brighter so I actually see. Alright, so my board is sitting somewhat flush. Actually, to eliminate movement, I'm just going to take this this set screw for the board and actually drop that one in here and screw that in first so my board doesn't move too much on me. I really hope you guys can hear me. I'm not sure how well my my iPhone camera is picking up my voice, and I don't know if I'm mumbling too much for you guys or not. Right now I'm literally just screwing in that one silver set screw that we pulled out of the board. Basically just holds the board in place and holds it to the controller frame itself. So now I'm taking my needle nose pliers, which are also really dirty. Whatever the fuck that is, fuzz shit. Actually, I might need my flathead to pull this out of here. Literally just pulling that little red piece of tape out. Same thing as before, just in reverse process. Pinching that little red tab with your pliers, and I'm going to feed it into this very small port underneath this battery tray here. Alright, and I believe she's all the way in. Let me give her another little nudge to make sure. Alright. So let me switch this camera, show you guys one more time what I did. So as before, we did talk about this little red piece of tape here. That actually is the tape that connects your touchpad to the board. Literally all I did just now was just take that little tab and push it back into the little port, which is kind of hiding underneath there. If you can actually see underneath there, it's just kind of slid right in that little thing. Very similar to the one that's right here for your light bar. Literally just plug that in. It's literally all I did in the past, I don't know, about a minute and a half. I'm gonna go ahead and put the battery back in, plug her back in, take the rear shell, plug in the light bar there, and kind of snap everything back together, and we're pretty much done. Easy peasy. Only took me about, well, it says 26 minutes on here, but I've been talking a lot because as an Asian person, I have one of those mouths that just never stop going. Alright, so slide the battery into the battery tray, take your little plug and slide that in the connector. Make sure it's all the way in there. Boom. Simple as that. Done. And then time for your rear shell. Just don't forget to connect your light bar. I do know some people have complained that they do not like the light bar and it drains your batteries too much, and they don't really like it. You can actually leave this unplugged if you would like and just not have a working light bar, and or you can go into your settings in the PS4 and turn it off as well. I may or may not be right about the turning it off in the settings. I'm pretty sure I saw something about turning it off in the settings, but I'm not 100% sure. I actually like the light bar, so I've never had an issue with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug mine back in. This one's fairly simple. You can literally just plug it in with your fingers. You don't need any special needle nose pliers for this one. And we're just going to slide her in there. Oh, and I'm going to actually unplug that again real quick. There's something that I forgot to mention. So I'll show you this quickly. Okay, so on this little tab, this is the blue tab for your light bar. These are all the little metal nodes that will connect and make things light up. This little black line here, or this dark blue line here on this little tab, that's actually the line that's going to sit right level, if my camera will focus, it's going to sit level on top of that little plug right there. So when you push it in, if you're not sure how far in it goes or how far to push it in, once you get to that little black line right there, once that line is sitting flush on top of that little connector, that's as far in as it'll go, so you don't have to sit there and keep forcing it, trying to push it all the way in. Or you can just use one of your six senses and just feel for it. And as soon as you get it in there and plug it in, you're pretty much good to go. That's pretty much it. Let me go ahead and set that back up so you can see. Turn you around, plug you back in, boom, that's done. And then we can literally put our controller back together. I want to slide those little triggers back into place there. Once I get those set, push these little posts in so I can actually pop my controller shell back together for the most part. Put a little pressure. There we go. Push that in. Everything else is falling back into place. Snap, snap, snap. Everything is back together, and that's pretty much it. Everything is snapped together. Just screw this bad boy together real quick. Drop in a screw there. Did I say 6 senses? I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Now that I sit here and actually think about what I said after I said it, because I didn't think before I spoke prior. If I just said 6 senses, I'm an idiot. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Pretty sure there's just 5. So disregard that last statement about 6 senses. I'm dumb, as I stated as when I started this video. So don't listen to that. You can laugh at me and make jokes in the comments if you would like. You gotta have a good time, I guess. Make fun of the dumb ones. Surprise natural selection hasn't got me yet, but I'm sure my time will come, as will everyone's. But that's not what we're here for. Although, yes, I am that goofy one that tends to make fun of himself the majority of the time. But that's okay. You live and learn. Apparently I lived to learn I had 6 senses, which if I did, I would technically be supernatural at some point, but I'm not that special. God did not bless me with any sort of special abilities. Alright. Final product is done. Analogs are installed. As you can see, they work just like normal. They move. I didn't break anything. Nothing's fucked up. Analogs still move. They actually move quite smoothly. I actually kind of like how they feel. Obviously, this isn't your actual analog. Of course, this is just the base. All the other attachments are here. Let me brighten up the room just a smidget. So this is the controller. Of course, this was a quick video, about 30 minutes. Probably could have made it a little shorter. I will be making another video once my gold replacement buttons for the share, start, touchpad, and the arrow keys actually show up. I think the PS button also is gold. We'll find out. Once those come in, I'm going to change all those. I believe it comes with gold analogs as well, but I probably won't use those, obviously, because I like these better. But once those all show up, I will do another video of me pulling this thing apart one more time to actually do that. But yeah, basically you just have different heights, inverted, exverted, as I said before, and they literally just slide right on just like that. And you have a new updated analog, and you can pull it off and switch it out. Let's say you want the exverted one that's slightly shorter. Boom, you got that one. Or you can have the inverted, even shorter one, just similar to the standard analog as well. Fully magnetic. Obviously, it's not a cheap magnet. It's not going to come out. Probably a really stupid idea, but as you can see, shaking it around like a freaking weird person trying to shake it out, and it's not coming off. Fairly strong magnets, super nice. Have not played with these yet. I do not know of anyone personally that I know of that has these, so I guess I will play with these for a while, see how they feel, see how I like them, and probably post a excuse me, I'm yawning. Probably post a another video going over how I actually like these, what I'd rate them, stuff like that, kind of doing like a little bit of a review. This is more just like the installation step. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Super simple, super easy. More than likely, I will probably do a live stream of either Overwatch and or For Honor on the PS4. Honestly, I don't have many subscribers and or people that are following my channel, so not very many people will probably see this video, but if I get lucky, I do. If not, I will. If you would like to see a stream of any of the above games, as in For Honor, Skyrim, Destiny, Diablo 3, Fallout 4, Black Ops 3, Zombies is mainly what I play on Black Ops 3. I don't really do too much of that. I have a few other games that is on my system as well, like The Witcher 3, Dragon Age Inquisition, a couple of the Assassin's Creeds as well. If you guys want to see any of those in a live stream, go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I will try to get a live stream up and going of one of those. I mainly like to keep it on Fallout 4, Skyrim, Overwatch, and For Honor. If you guys would like to join in an online game with any of the above, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a like. I'm going to try to keep you guys updated with little videos here and there of new parts, live streams, this and that, do reviews of some things that I personally buy. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not getting paid to do any of this stuff. This is just me being a bored, lazy gamer at home. So let me know. Give me a like. Subscribe if you want. It'd be much appreciated. I will get back to you guys soon. I probably will have a live stream video going up later on today. It's about 5 o'clock-ish where I am. I'm currently in Phoenix, Arizona. So probably in the next hour to 2 hours, I will have a live stream up and running. I'm probably going to put a link to this video in the description. I'll probably be talking about it a little bit in the live stream, but I'll catch you later. Snack Time 94. We're out of here. Time to eat.